I know I've been on a Divorce Diaries rant for quite a while now, but I just want to take a break to just remind you about this podcast and how I record it. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast everywhere. Seriously. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, that's anchor.fm to get started, or download the Anchor app.
This guy is nuts. Is he really making daily recordings of his possible divorce and releasing it as a podcast? They both cheated on each other? She's making six figures and still doesn't contribute to any joint endeavors financially? Why is she still with him? Why is he still with her? I can't wait for the next episode. This helped me be a better wife. So this is how men think. I hate my husband less now. I understand my wife more now. These are some of the listener comments to the Divorce Diaries podcast. All over the map, I know. These anonymous accounts of events should resonate with anyone that has been married, is married, or is preparing for marriage, and helps couples avoid pitfalls as they might prepare for marriage. Entire seasons are released on Patreon weeks before anywhere else. At Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Link in description. Now for today's episode.
Looking back, I know that I was never ready for marriage. When you get married before you can legally have a drink of alcohol, like I did, that really speaks to how much you probably don't know about life. Was I mature enough to know or say that I may, that I want to get married? Yeah. And did I take it seriously? Yes, I took it very seriously. Did I don't know. What was I committed to my wife? Yep, sure was. Now, did I know what being too young to even have an alcoholic beverage, did I really understand what commitment meant? Yeah, sure, of course. The Webster's Dictionary version of commitment, I understood what that meant. Hey Siri, what does commitment mean? What does commitment mean?
Sorry, I can't show the result to you while you're in the car.
Sorry. What's the definition of commitment?
The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Yeah, yes.
An engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action.
I don't know what that is, but give me a sec. I'm backing into a parking spot to claim the keys to my new apartment. I am moving out of living with my family. Yep, that's happening. So my heart is breaking and I'm simultaneously making this recording. Because life is kind of a shit show. But I'm realizing now, and I have realized now, that I'm just not ready. I haven't been ready. I'm not ready. I'm ready now in the sense that I understand what it takes to be married. So I think that right now, if I and my wife wanted to commit to each other right now, I think that we could have a really happy time being married. I think that we could. But I think that there's a lot of bad blood, and I think the damage has been done, and I think we're probably past it.
now. We're probably past it, and there's no getting it back. Too many things have happened, too much bad blood, too much anger, yelling, too much hurt, too much pain, too much of everything. Too much betrayal. And I don't think that there's a space for us to forgive each other. Now, maybe with this separation, maybe the two of us might find the peace and the pause that we actually needed to make amends or make space for potential mending of our relationship. That's possible. It's very, very possible. I don't know if that's what I want. I don't know if that's what she wants. But I know we probably can't be under the same roof, or maybe we shouldn't be under the same roof right now. And that's why, I'm moving here. I mean, things happened, very bad things, and get out, that's what it is. So, I was never ready, because there's no way a young kids, especially me, I can't speak for her. I definitely believe my wife was way more ready than I am, and I was. She just is. She was just ready, and I wasn't ready. Because she didn't really change as much as I did. She's pretty much been the same type of person for our entire relationship. And I have grown and regressed and matured and been immature and fluctuated way more as a guy sort of trying to figure it out. And I did not understand what it meant to be a husband, what it meant to commit to my wife specifically. I'm not just going to say a woman, but my wife specifically. What does it mean to, what does it mean to commit and really give of yourself? Like, I involved my family in a few things, communication wise. We moved in with them, and there's this biblical, even though I don't practice Christianity as like I did when I was younger, there's a Bible verse in there, and it's like, leave and cleave. You have to leave your current family and cleave to your wife. And a wife needs to leave her family and cleave to her husband. And you can't let anyone else back into that, because it sort of fosters this awesome environment of the two of you, regardless of what happens, you guys against the world. That's it. And it's almost like soldiers in a foxhole. And I didn't understand that. I understood the words and I understood the principle, but I didn't understand the practice. And therefore, I didn't understand the gravity of the principle. And I think that definitely cost me. And I should have never gotten married at such a young age. But I also don't want to make it seem like it's the age. It was my maturity level. And my maturity level has only gotten to where it is in the last few months, honestly, of this recording. And it's July 9th, 2021. And I'm just getting things sort of figured out now. Like, the fog and the haze is sort of lifting now. It took all of this to happen for me to finally get and understand that I was the bigger problem and I was the one that wasn't ready to be married. My wife didn't do some things maybe tactically correct, but her heart was always in the right place. And I didn't make as many tactical mistakes, but my heart was not in the right place. And that slow drip of hurt, pain, that's what ultimately is going to be what ends us. I really thought that I was loving my wife, and I wasn't. Because when you love someone, you don't talk to them as frequently as I did about what she did wrong. And all I did was really harp on things that she did wrong, things that she could improve, how she was breaking promises to herself, how she said she wouldn't eat this piece of cake or whatever it was. I was not a supportive husband in the ways that she needed me to be supportive. I, quote unquote, pushed her because I technically wanted to be pushed for all of my goals in life. I want to get this certification. I want to excel over here, and I start this business, and I want to do that. And she wouldn't begrudge me of that. But her goals in my mind were to, lose weight, save money, things like that. Things that were, quote unquote, a little bit basic in my mind. And with those things being a bit basic, I treated her like, hey, how can you not get this basic stuff right? Are you really, quote unquote, smart if you can't even get this basic stuff right? Seriously? Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? That's how I looked at her. That was the lens through which I saw my wife. How are you messing up so bad? And I would constantly just throw that in her face. I was a very bad partner. And, when that just keeps going and going and going like that, how's anybody supposed to stay married to somebody like that? Me as a man, I really needed to grow up. I had a lot of growing to do. And I still have a lot of growing to do. I've got to get my shit together so that I can be fit for even myself. It has nothing to do with anyone else. But if our family, because I do believe it's the biggest thing, there's no one else out here in this world that's going to have my back like my wife has had mine. Through all of my surgeries and hurt and pain and debt and not debt, and I haven't really carried that much of that. She hasn't really had that to worry about, but all of the shit that has come to my life, she's been there for me, and no one else was. Not my parents, not my siblings, no one but her. And I used to feel like, do I just want to stay with her because she's helping me, she's there for me and no one else is. I used to not want to just say openly, yes. But now, how I feel, I'm like, oh shit, yeah. I do want to be with this woman because she has my back, not because she can't stop necessarily buying this thing or that thing, not because she's bad with, not great with money, not because she's got things. She's got things. To have someone truly in your corner and have your back and support you is probably the single biggest thing, the biggest ingredient, the most important ingredient that needs to be in every single fucking marriage. And I had that in this person, and I did not treat it well. I did not cherish it, and I took it for granted. So let's go ahead and stop that, shall we? It's time for me to grow up. But now I'm laying in the bed that I made for myself because I was not ready for marriage. I was never ready. And I got married anyway. And that really hurt her.
Wow. That was the Divorce Diaries podcast. The Daily Saga will continue tomorrow. The full season's episodes are on Patreon now. Subscribe for early access. Click the Patreon link in the description. Hopefully these entries help our anonymous recorder as a form of his own personal therapy. That's his hope and his intention. Will these recordings of life's curveballs lead this family to the best resolution in the end? We'll keep listening. New episodes are released daily on all podcast players, but all episodes are available on Patreon at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Until next time.